Welcome to Business Line's State of the Economy podcast, where you'll find insight, analysis, and the story behind the numbers.
Hi all, welcome to Business Line's State of the Economy podcast on agriculture. From being no one a couple of decades ago, India is now the second largest producer of potatoes in the world. It's emerging as a key exporter of frozen potato products such as French fries, hash browns, etc. Last year, India produced 60 million tons of potatoes. Despite initial weather hiccups, production this year is expected to hit a record of about 60 million tons. To tell us more about what's happening in the potato sector, we have with us Mr. Haresh Karamchandani, Managing Director and Group CEO, HyFun Foods, a key player in the potato industry. Welcome to Business Line State of the Economy podcast on agriculture, Mr. Karamchandani.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for joining the podcast. And as we speak, the harvest of potato crop is ongoing, and we have harvested almost 60 to 70% of the crop. And so far, everything looks quite good. Overall, the quality of the crop is quite impressive. And when we look at the overall production volumes, the industry is expecting this year India will produce 60 million plus. It would be in the range of 62 million tons of potato this year.
Sir, and this record crop expectation is despite the initial problems during sowing, isn't it, sir?
Yes, at the time of planting, there were some delays because the temperature, the ideal temperature was not, there, and hence there were some delays in the sowing of the crop. But however, later on, because of the favorable weather conditions, it has been a good climatic condition for the crop.
Sir, how will the availability of potatoes be for processing, particularly French fries, chips, and hash browns?
So, as we all know, India is the second largest producer of potato globally. And out of the total volume produced, it will get only 8 to 10%, which was thing. So what is happening every year since the processing industry is growing? So more and more farmers are happy to shift towards growing of processing variety of potato, and hence and it is primarily because of the assured prices which the farmers are able to get, and hence we are able to convert farmers from point varieties to processed varieties. So as far as the availability is concerned, the processing industry is able to get enough supplies.
Sir, has India begun to emerge a key player in potato products? What has helped this?
When it comes to potato products, if you see there is potato chips, the potato chip which is produced in India is primarily for domestic consumption, and the business which we are into is frozen potato products, which is where the consumption is within India, but also we are exporting to around many countries. Here, I would say India is still at a starting point. There is, much more headroom for growth. There is a big potential for India to, become a manufacturing hub for Asia, and the consumption domestically also is bound to increase. And going forward, yes, India will emerge as a manufacturing hub for Asia.
Sir, what changes are we witnessing in terms of R&D to help the country emerge a key producer and processor of potatoes?
So we as processing companies, we actually are not undertaking any R&D program as such for releasing new varieties and so on. But we accept germplasm from European breeders and also from CPRI. CPRI is a government body, Central Potato Research Institute, and which is where CPRI also works on new varieties which are overall required for various potato producing. And actually looking at the climate change and so on, CPRI also has been working on heat stress tolerant varieties, and which will be released in the near future. And we, along with CPRI, are jointly conducting trials for testing these varieties in the drought conditions.
Sir, in this regard, experiments like the Vinyanshala and Pathshala initiated by a company. That is also helping, isn't it, sir?
Yes. So these are two new initiatives which we have undertaken this crop season onwards. So first, I'd like to talk about HyFun Vigyan Shala, wherein we have four trial sites wherein we undertake trials of new varieties. Basically, these are R&D sites wherein we are undertaking trials of new varieties, but at the same time, the existing varieties also we are trying out slightly different agricultural practices to see how we can improve overall the quality and the productivity of and the second initiative is IPOM Patshala. Happy to share that this is the industry first initiative, and we have this year established around 17 Patshala plots in various pockets of the Gujarat, but also MP, wherein the best practices, the best agricultural practices, which are pertaining to these particular processing varieties, we are able to demonstrate to the farmers. So we are doing this along with selected farmers, but then we also invite farmers from the nearby regions, nearby area to also witness. So here we are able to demonstrate how by using the right practices and also I'll give you example of irrigation. The adequate amount of irrigation we are able to overall improve the quality, but at the same time we are also able to reduce the cost of cultivation to a large extent. And this is a big step towards demonstrating to the farmers how they can improve their incomes further, primarily by increasing productivity and reducing the cost of cultivation.
Sir, how far are we from becoming the number one in potato production and the leader in export of frozen potato production?
So as far as potato production is concerned, the CPRI has set a target, and that is their vision. By 2050, India will become the largest potato producing country, and they will be producing around 125 million tons of potato, by which we will be surpassing the production of China. So that is going to happen by 2050, but year on year, there is increase in production of potato. There are new areas which are being developed for potato production, and the yield per acre also has been improving. So I'm pretty sure that we will be targeting by 2050. We'll be the largest potato nation. And as far as frozen potato products is concerned, like I mentioned, this industry is still at a very nascent stage. It has, in fact, it just started around 2007-8, and then it has been growing year on year. Initially, the growth was, primarily to do with the domestic consumption. So it was not a big growth, but once, we as a company, we have started our operations in 2015. We've also been able to open up export opportunities, which is where the growth has been, much higher than the earlier years. And we foresee that in near future, I would say by 2030, India will become, a manufacturing hub for Asia. And I'm sure that the overall, growth in production of potato by 2050 surely will be the largest, exporting nation because of the fact that, we have the potential where we are able to grow the larger volume of potato. And since the market of frozen potato products is increasing year on year, India has a big role to play in feeding this demand. And this is actually also commensurating with 2050, 2047, where India will become, as per the vision of our Honorable Prime Minister, India is supposed to become a developed nation by 2047, which is after 100 years of independence. So that's where I see the growth happening.
So thank you very much for your very insightful views, sir. Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure talking to you. Thank you.
My pleasure.
Thank you very much for your very insightful views, sir. Thank you, listeners, for tuning in. Until we meet in our next episode. Bye all.